so incredible, knowing you are mine. Can't help being demonstrative, it's certainly no crime. I'm walking on cloud nine again.
Around the clock, we're gonna rock the dreams you give, the streets to talk. Wanna be somebody, be a contender, gotta reach for the sky. If you want it, fight for it, or kiss it goodbye. It's make it or break it, try to survive. Don't ever say never, keep your dream alive. Around the clock, we're gonna rock to the rhythm of the beat, down the block.
He's Blake. I'm Ronnie. All the good names are taken. Podcast bringing you yet another Friday the 13th video until they give us, Blake, a proper movie. And yes, my voice is gone.
What happened to your voice?
Screaming.
At who? What'd she do?
Not a listener. She's not a listener. Screamed, and now my voice is gone.
Mm.
Big
What's
day.
the shirt? Let me see the shirt.
This is the Nick Push shirt.
Wow. Mm.
I
He knows
can't-
there's two of us, right?
Well, he just look at this. And I've got this set up over here, not in view of the camera.
Wow.
Look at that handwriting. It's like I know what you did last summer.
What's he doing with notebook paper?
Writing scripts. Speaking of writing scripts, check this out.
Okay.
I got this off of Instagram. It's Vincent Dasani giving out financial advice. Hold on. I want to get the exact thing here. Yeah, I came across it a while ago, and it was like a last-minute addition to the show. He's talking about fundraising or something. I got to find. Let me find his account. Hold on.
This is awesome. Look how fat that person is in the back in the purple.
I think I clicked on my account. Hold on. Or our account. Womp stomp. Nope, it must be his personal account.
Gotta tell Vinny, you gotta go wireless. Those cords hanging out, that's just not a good look.
Thank you to everyone who came out to my fundraising panel. And my wife. Oof. Blake, hold on. This is going to take a second. Y'all hang with us. We'll get to the chat in just a second. I got to let you see this, Blake.
Okay.
I got to load it. Carry the 2.
So this is a business class. I mean, what'd you say this is?
It's a fundraising panel.
A fundraising panel. So is he fundraising or is he teaching them how to fundraise?
If I know Vinny, he's trying to get money off these guys. Hold on a second. Hopefully he's teaching them. Let me pull this version up, Blake. I don't know what's going to happen here. I've never done this live before. All right, so there it is. Tell me what you notice about this. We may need some help in the chat when it comes to spelling. That's not how you spell fundraising, is it, Blake?
No, that's yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Well, come out, right?
Come out, let me teach you to raise some money and spell. All right, let's take a look at this group of losers he's got in here, Blake. There is a 400-pounder in the middle corner, middle section of the thing right there. Definitely raising money to eat.
You know what I love about that person? It's automatically my favorite person in the whole group, but they brought their Coke with them, Ronnie. Their sodas on the floor. You can appreciate that. Wait, is that Sonic? Sonic Cup?
Sonic, my wife, my beautiful wife, brought me a drink home. I needed it.
Did you get the Coney?
I'm still trying to eat better. Down
Oh, okay.
27 pounds.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. Feeling jacked, bro. All right. So right there next to the blue carpet, not red carpet either, blue carpet. Is that what is that? Is that a Indian dot, not feather?
The one closest to us?
Nope. It's like right there across from the fat in the drink. It was like a turban.
I don't know. I see the back of Cameron's head from the new Halloween movies.
What about this? There's a blonde right here, and it looks like they've smushed some kind of to-go order sign right there. They just moved it out of the way. He's made the most of this 4x4 room right here to talk to these 5-6 people. How many people got in here?
How many
8?
people don't realize where they are right now?
You think they thought it was going to be an actual person that is going to with financial advice of how to really make money?
Is there a sign outside that says like free lunch or something? Probably.
You reckon everybody got one? You reckon everybody got one of these on the way out?
You just got ripped off.
Hey, brother, you just got ripped off. I got a new movie, Ghost
Cool.
Chicken.
I wish we could zoom in because he's got a cool little table set up there, and it looks like all the work he's done. Looks like he's got a drink up there.
What do you think? Oh man, I should have zoomed in on this. You're right.
And I wish you could zoom in on that little thing that's next to Pam over here, so I can read what it says.
What's on the What's that right there on the screen?
That's what I'm saying. I want to read that. I want to see what that says.
Hold on. I'm gonna zoom in on my phone.
Okay. I don't think that's gonna help.
No, just for me. Okay, so it looks like it's Tom Matthews to the far right on that TV, and then the guy that's running around with the GoPro is the other two pictures.
Oh yeah, you're talking about on the TV on the
Yeah.
wall. I'm talking
On the table, he's got all his DVDs.
Right.
It looks like a shirt. He's never sent us a shirt. He's got a MacBook. How much money does he have? And he didn't clean up the cords behind the flat screen. They're just hanging there.
Right.
What's going on? I can't wait to attend one of these events because I'm going to ask every question.
Oh, we're going to fight him.
No doubt. What do you think the overall credit score is in that room right there, Blake, including Vincent?
I think it's pretty good.
4 digits?
All these people are there to better themselves, Ronnie, and I think you should cool it with the criticism as you drink your soda.
I'm just jealous.
I know.
But I figured I had to throw that up there. So you played golf all day today?
Yeah, Jay from the intro, I played golf with him today. It was really fun.
What was the score?
We shot a 65, 7 under.
What did Jay shoot? And did he embarrass himself?
No, he was well-behaved gentleman.
Well, all right. So we've got a few people in the chat. Hello to everybody. Blake, I'm not going to keep you long. I know you're exhausted. I wanted to get together. I went back to Reddit, and I found a bunch of Friday the 13th questions. I chose a few, at least one from each of all the movies. There's not going to be any kind of what I'm looking for, visual aids when it comes to this. It's going to be me and you talking.
Good.
And at least one theory. And I figured if anybody in the chat has any questions about the franchise that they've always wondered, they could throw it up after we talk about each one. We'll give them a chance to throw up any questions or theories they may have, and then we'll get to bed because it's time to go to bed. All right. So real quick, hope everybody's having a great Friday night. What'd you think about the new showing who's supporting us?
I like that. I like the video game thing too. I wish you would come up with some kind of 8-bit thing.
I thought this what that was.
Was that what that was?
Supposed to be.
I guess I wanted more Tecmo Bowl sound effects.
I couldn't find any of that.
Like when you hit the start button on Tecmo Bowl.
Okay.
Allie says it's 7:15 on a Friday. Yeah, which means we're 20 minutes past bedtime.
Yeah. Gotta
It's
get
still
to bed.
daylight.
Gotta get to bed before it gets dark.
I'm so tired.
All right, here we go, Blake. Let's get started. Clear your mind. Everybody in the chat, free your mind. And let's see if we can answer some of these questions.
All right.
I can't stop coughing. How far did Mrs. Voorhees live from the camp? Now, some of these questions are completely stupid, and I added them anyway. This is straight from a Friday the 13th Reddit 1980 forum where they asked questions about it. How far did Mrs. Voorhees live from the camp? Bill says it's 10 miles to the nearest crossroads. And then they followed that up with, how did she get to the camp? It's a stupid question because we know that Mrs. Voorhees just parked her Jeep somewhere off-road and was in the woods watching them the entire day because she kills Annie right off the bat. She kills Ned or Zed, whatever his name is. She kills a bunch of them. She's got her Jeep hidden, and she's killing people.
See, I disagree. I think it's a good question as far as where she lives because you got to assume as the cook.
That's what I was going to say. The where did she live? That is the good question. So go ahead.
That's a really good question. You got to assume she lived at the camp while she worked there and was the cook. But obviously, after everything went down and it shut down, she had to go find her a little. Does she live in the shack in the woods? No, she don't live in the shack in the woods. That's ridiculous. No, she lives somewhere in town, probably close to that diner that Annie. I imagine this is a small town, Ronnie, similar to where we live. Everything's really close together, and she probably lives not far from the camp, I would say.
Why would she live near the camp? There's a lot of trauma there. I think she lives I think she's got a job, and I think she lives in a normal house. I mean, she's got a nice Jeep, for 1979, 1980. It looks like a newer model Jeep. I really don't know. I think we actually did an episode of what model it was, but is she within a few miles of it? I mean, is she living in the town?
Yeah, I would think she's living in the town, working in the town. The town is full of a lot of interesting characters. You got the town drunk / crazy, which is Ralph. And people talk about this lady too. She used to work at the camp. Her boy drowned. So yeah, I think she still lives there, Ronnie. And she wants to make sure that camp stays closed because she's insane.
Now,
which begs to question, begs to whatever the saying is, why didn't she just kill Christy right away when he started working to open that camp up?
Well, that would make a lot more sense, but she apparently had a flair for the dramatic. The water went bad, fires, killed those two trying to beat guts. Yeah. Maybe she figured if she let all of them get there again, it's been such a long period since there's been something bad that's happened there. She can go ahead and kill all of those people and people will stay away for another 10 years or something like that. I'm just trying to get in the mind of an idiot. Here's where the questions get a little bit harder.
Okay.
Was Mrs. Voorhees abusive to Jason? Jason, hearing her say, "Mother is talking to you," he drops to his knees, and becomes submissive to what he thinks is his mother. So that begs the question, begs to differ. What is it, Blake? That asks the question, could Pamela Voorhees have been abusive to Jason? And is that why he did not reveal that he was still alive?
God, I hope so. I hope she was abusive because that kid ended up being a rascal. And no, I've always been against the abuse angle. I don't want to feel any sympathy for my villain in any horror movie. So I'm against, like in this new show, I don't want. So that's what she said. What he say, Ronnie? Probably not far from the
Yeah.
camp, so that she has easy access to the camp. So there you go. I mean, she. But as far as the abuse stuff, I don't want, like in this new show, I don't need Jason getting made fun of. I don't need his parents abusing him. I don't need any of that. That to me, that just takes me right out of the story. But with that being said, it would make sense. Like childhood trauma usually leads to screwed up adults.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he is, they're gonna roll with that special thing.
Darren
Again.
said we both look well.
Hey, Darren.
Hi.
How are you? Darren, a member for 24 months, says you both look well. I think he's trying to get back at you because you said he looked ill.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. He was just he had on a different fit the other day. I think that's what it was. He usually is just casual t-shirt, and I don't know. He looked different the other day, and I think it made me think he was sick.
Jim Bob says she was normal and loving and probably just snapped after his death.
That's what I like to think, Jim Bob. And to me, that's scarier. And it's also more realistic. I mean, your kid, if you have you love it with all your heart, and it's taken away from you, and it's something completely out of your hands, and you snap, and you don't know what happens, when you lose something you love. So I mean, it's realistic to me, and that's why the original is my favorite. I know that's like a hot take because Jason's not in it, but I feel like the original has the best story.
Yeah, but they're going to ruin that by going in depth of why exactly she's crazy. Unless she's crazy when it starts, and they still never address it. It could happen.
I'm gonna steal a line from you. Like, I'm all for these remakes, prequels, requels, whatever you call them. I'm all for them. Literally, shit out 1,000 of them. I don't care. Do all the movies people say don't do. Do Back to the Future. Do Jaws. Do all this. I don't care. You said it a couple of weeks ago. I'll always have the originals. I can always go back and watch those, and I know in my mind these were made and this was it. That's fine. It does nothing to me with the original story, so people can go create whatever they want, and I'll watch it because I love, people's new ideas sometimes. But it ain't. If I don't like it, it ain't gonna mess up how I feel about the others. It ain't gonna mess up the story.
I thought this was a unique question because, especially in wooded areas, if somebody gives birth to a special needs child, they often treat them like dogs. They'll put them on the clothesline and let them run back and forth. They'll take a newspaper and hit them across the beak with it. So, it's sort of in part two when he's been rocking and rolling this whole movie, and then all of a sudden he hits the brakes when he thinks it's Pamela. Okay. And she possibly could have been abusive and still loved him. Look at our dad.
Okay.
And this would also explain the open-ended question of, did he really drown? Did he come back as a zombie? And if he didn't drown, why didn't he tell his mother he was still alive? Maybe he was just afraid, didn't want to be around his mother anymore because she's so mean, lived in the woods, watched the camp from afar, got to see his mother do all this stuff, and then he gets to see one of the counselors, cut his mom's head off, and that set him as trying to get...
Maybe he didn't say anything because he had a mouthful of water. Who knows?
All right, that's what she says. Says maybe she was always a little strange, but went completely insane after he died. That's
like a reasonable answer because we're all a little strange. Everybody's a little strange, and everybody has that tipping point. And I think your kid dying is
Aaron tipping
point. Aaron tipping point. Yeah.
Next question, Blake. Were one of the kids killed at the beginning Crazy Ralph's, and did that cause his alcoholism? Because he's awfully worried about this camp to not have any equity in it, as far as somebody in his family being a victim or him witnessing, murders or, something like that. So I thought this was a good question, a good theory. did Crazy Ralph and his wife that we hear about in part 1, did they lose a child? And was it possibly one of the two that got their guts beat at the beginning of the movie?
Well, what do you think?
No. I mean, I think we're putting with this one video right here. Sorry, I had to fix my calendar and my daughter's drawings. I think we have put more thought into this entire effing franchise just with our YouTube videos than was ever supposed to be thought.
Yeah.
I think it's plain and simple. We got to have a harbinger or a messenger of doom in the movie, you know, a creepy old man going, "You're all doomed," you know, just like the scary owl sound effect in the Halloween cartoon movies and stuff like that. So no, I don't think. I mean, would it be a cool aspect of the Ralph character to dig in there and find out that possibly one of those were his kids? You know, maybe to some people. I like the anonymity of him just being a drunk town recluse and worrying the piss out of everybody, and you know, at the same time warning them of their upcoming doom.
Yeah, I don't like the idea of everybody being kin to somebody. You know, that's when they come out with that and Scream, how everybody's a cousin or everybody's a nephew of somebody before. To me, it just gets ridiculous. In fact, that's why I love the trailer for the new Naked Gun so much, because everyone who works in the police station is kin to somebody that was part of the original. So I feel like that's kind of making fun of what these horror movies are doing now. So yeah, I mean, not everything has to be related, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was just looking for I thought it was a good idea to try to pinpoint why exactly he's messed up, but at the same time, sort of like Pamela, you know, he's just messed up. He's just
Well,
drunk.
yeah, I mean, listen, some people, like our sister, huge conspiracy theorist, right? So, I mean, some people are just, you know, out there. And when you combine that with alcohol, and I'm sure, you know, Ralph does a little meth up there in New Jersey, you get some funky ideas.
All right, Jim Bob says, what if Ralph is his dad? Talking about Jason, I'm assuming, and Jason was potato headed due to Ralph's alcoholism, and that's why he tries to warn the kids. Well, you got to also remember, Jim Bob. I can't remember how old Jim Bob is. He might be one of those people that protects his age, and I respect that. People smoked and drank all throughout the 80s and 70s and 60s, and kids were born regular all the time, right, Blake?
Sure.
There you go. Adam says that lends the question, will Crazy Ralph be in the show? I expect, and this is just me, I expect them to try to pull at every little bit of fandom that they can in this show. I think we'll see a Crazy Ralph. I think we'll see that Mongoloid that was working in the diner at the very beginning of it that's looking out, Blake. I think we see him. I think we see the guy that's driving the gas truck. I think everybody's going to be in it. They'll bring them back and they'll say, this is so-and-so.
You know, I said it, Ronnie, this was probably 3-4 years ago. I hope we get a version of Ralph before he's Crazy Ralph, and I hope it's like a really good-looking, like Rob Lowe, you know, before the shit hits the fan and he goes nuts. I got a question for you, and maybe for the chat, too. Let's talk about the other crazy guy in the franchise. Let's talk about Abel in part 3. Did Jason really give Abel that eyeball, or did Abel kill somebody?
Hold on.
Do you have an Abel question?
Well, I thought I did have it, but I didn't use it.
Okay.
I didn't use it because I think my question was, why is he in the woods?
Right.
But
he's drunk.
Yeah. Which version of Jason did he get the eyeball from? Because it seems like the Jason from part 2 wasn't as aggressive as the Jason from part 3. And what I mean by that, I understand, yes, he's killing people, but I can see the Jason from part 2 having a little Bob Maluga Luga Luga in him, and possibly, you know, sitting around a campfire with Abel, and Abel, you know, sharing stories of how he's become so successful. And in return, sort of like this Vincent DeSanti meeting, he gives him, an eyeball to thank him for all his fine advice. But the Jason from part 3, I don't think would have the temperament to deal with an Abel. I think he would just kill him immediately. I mean, the Jason from part 3 waited at that barn for everybody to come in so he could backhand them and stuff like that. So I kind of see where you're going. I'm just going to say Abel killed somebody out in that woods, probably a kid, and tore the eyeball out.
Did he wait around in that barn because he didn't have the sack anymore?
He waited around in the barn because he was in there to try to get healed because the machete went 37 inches down into his arm, down into his shoulder.
Yeah. But as soon as he got that mask, he walked on out, though, Ronnie. That's why I say that.
That is true. That is, I mean, you make a wonderful point. Wonderful. Could Jason have used a near-death experience to escape an abusive mother? Absolutely. That's what I was getting at with that. Yes. Go live in the woods, build a shack, all that good stuff. Adam says Abel probably just found that eyeball just laying around. And then, like a typical drunk homeless person, lied about I was going to say lied about somebody giving it to him. Next question, Blake. They get harder. Where are the pee stains on Jenny's pants? We know she peed her pants under the bed. And for the rest of the movie, there's no giant piss stains everywhere. There should have been. Why did the filmmakers decide we're not going to wet the front of her britches? We're going to, have them just look regular.
I hate to use that old saying, Ronnie, but, they don't make stuff like they used to. Maybe these were some, piss-absorbing jeans, A lot of people piss themselves in the 80s, right? Growing up, I used to piss myself all the time. Maybe she had some britches that just absorbed that shit, and it didn't show up.
Probably would have took away from the movie to see an adult character running around looking like Tim with pee all over the front of their pants.
Yeah.
Or Jay on the dance floor. A lot of people don't know that story.
It would be piss on the front and back too, right?
Yes, I would think so. Well, she was laying on her side.
She's laying on her side, so I mean, we could be having like a sprinkler situation.
What animal? Okay, so here's a good question. Everybody in the chat can answer this too.
Jimbo.
What would make you just be so scared you'd pee your pants, Blake? Is there an animal or anything like that?
I don't think so. I mean,
it's a lot of piss.
Fear causing me to piss. I don't think that's possible with me, and I hope I never find out. Honestly, just having to piss really, 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 really bad, and like you're driving down the road or something, like I can piss myself or whatever. But being so scared that piss comes out, nah, I don't think that's gonna happen to me. Now I can cough here in just a second and piss a little bit.
Or go to the bathroom and then come back into another room and finish.
Yeah.
Jim Bob says if he sees a bear, big bear chase me. And Adam says his ex-wife. It's anytime I see my credit score.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So no pee stains. Blake, here we go.
He pisses himself when he sees his ex-wife, right? It's funny.
Here we go. Are you ready for this?
Where exactly does the dream begin during the ending of Friday the 13th Part 2? Was Paul killed in the shed or in the house?
It would have to be in the shed, right? That's where Jenny was able to take the machete and hammer Jason. But where does the dream pick up? Did she fall out in there? No, because if they would have found her there, they would have found Jason's body there.
Yeah.
So she had to have made it back to the cabin or the cabins. We know the muffin part's not real. Was it when they both just laid down facing the door and maybe they dozed off and the rest of it is, and then when she woke up, there was no Paul? Was Paul dead when she hit Jason with the machete and she walked back to the cabins by herself and fell out into one of the cabins and then was found the next day, probably that night when the counselors came back?
I think this is just me, and I'm doing this off the top of my head. I think they made it back to that little cabin, right? And
Yeah.
they get the door closed and they sit on the bed. I think that's where the dream starts for Jenny. I think that's going to be the last thing she remembers. And then she dreams that, Muffin shows up and Jason comes through the door. And when she comes to, she's being wheeled to the ambulance. Yeah, there you go. When she comes to, she's being wheeled to the ambulance. And Paul is either A, already in an ambulance himself, or B, being interviewed by the cops way off, to the side.
So you are a Paul survived guy.
I think I'm a Paul survived guy, because, like you said, this Jason in part 2 is different than what we get in the next 27 movies. Because Jenny and Paul are extremely drunk, hammered, and they whip Jason's ass multiple times in this movie. So, yeah, I believe that both of them survived.
And once again, we're putting more thought into this Paul stuff than the writers did. There should have been some explanation at the end of the movie whether he was alive or dead. They didn't intend for it to be an open-ended mystery. They were just too lazy to close up that storyline. Agree or disagree? Nick,
Disagree. I think they're brilliant.
Nick, I'm wearing the shirt you bought me. You're the best. We love you.
Ready for Nick Push to be back.
Yeah. I mean, it's not YouTube without Nick Push. We should have brought him on tonight. You didn't want to.
Jay said he wanted to riff something with you too.
Did he? It's amazing that all the people on the show want to do shit, Blake.
I know.
And then, and then you try to get with them and they're so busy. Blake, this next question, you've never ever thought of it. I've never thought of it until the other day in the middle of work. This is a Ronnie question.
Okay.
It's going to blow your mind. Chat, get ready. It's going to blow your mind.
Why did Ali wait in the barn till that night? Why didn't he run out when he woke up?
So, for people may not have seen Josh's, people not thinking about. I mean, people in the chat thinking about it right now. If you haven't seen it, here's what happens. Ali gets beat to sleep. I always thought he was getting hit with a object when he gets caught by Jason in part 3. But I think he was just getting hit with Jason's hands. Maybe Jason had like a stick in his hands or something like that, Blake. I don't know. Then at the end of it, he's about to get the heat on Chris. And Ali comes running out of the stall, grabs Jason, gets his hand cut off, and then gets hacked into itty bitty pieces, my friend.
So your theory is Ali was awake the whole time?
No, my theory is Jason beat his ass to sleep.
Yeah.
He woke up and stayed pretending to be dead in that barn and didn't try to escape, hoping nobody'd ever come back in there. And then he hears that commotion and hears her getting after him and figures this is my time and tries to jump out there and get him. I don't think he had just woken up. He didn't look.
The commotion is what woke him up, right? Like them cutting up in the barn is what made him come to, and him being the true hero that he is. He could have ran out. You're right. He could have ran right out, and that'd have been a funny scene if Chris and Jason both looking at this dude just run out the barn. But he tried to intervene, and that little intervention, I guess you call it, is what saved Chris's life.
So you don't think
No,
my question
not at all.
that he's just been hiding in there?
No. Yeah, I mean, he was knocked out in there. And Jason thought he was dead because when you hit somebody in the head 47 times, hey, he ain't getting up. Can I ask you something, Ronnie? We love part 3. We do. Probably Probably some of the worst acting in the whole franchise, but to me, that makes it feel a little bit more real. If Ali shows up and saves the day there, better or worse? Because he's a bad guy the whole movie, Ronnie.
It's worse. It's definitely worse.
He's a bad guy the whole movie, and he wakes up, and he saves. He
Blake,
saves.
Brett Patrick's in the chat, and he says,
What's
"Good
his picture there? Who is that?
That looks like the guy from Wishmaster."
Oh, okay. Brett, are you a golfer? Brett was quizzing me today on Facebook about my golfing.
Really?
Yeah.
Of course he's a golfer. He's an
A
aristocrat.
golfer.
I think it makes the movie worse if Ali wakes up and helps her. I think she needed the arc. She needed the arc of being molested by Jason and killing Jason. I don't think she needed any help.
Dasani has connections. I would love to get in touch with the people who come up with the idea that Jason needed to molest someone. Which all these horror guys are, born from perverts. Me and you have talked about that before. It all kind of scenes have been cut from every one of your favorite movies where they're perverted and sexually assaulting. But
you tell me the guy from Terrifier is normal? I mean,
hey, Ronnie, can you make something for me with AI?
Yeah. I don't know how to use AI.
Can you put Trump's face on that and put Terrifier
No.
and put it out on the internet for me?
No. I don't even know what that means. Brett says, I golf with some of the mechanical contractors a few times a year. I'm horrible. Need to hit the tees regularly.
Regularly.
Yeah.
If I had the money that Brett Patrick had, there'd be no stopping me.
Brett wipes his ass for 20s. Josh, the horror guy's here. What's up, Josh? Hope that baby's okay.
Fun fact about Josh Horror Guy, he is a prison guard in Maryland. Can't put a baby crib together either. I still remember that from like 2 years ago.
Is he from Maryland? Because that's where our boy is. Shane
no, I may be getting him mixed up with Shane. Is he he might be a Baltimore guy.
I don't know. Oh, it's the wrong one. I want to go here where Jim Bob is.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Terrifier and his Trump's face.
No, here's the deal. Ali,
I admit, it's a bad idea if Ali saves the day and they walk out together and they get on Ali's motorcycle and
ride off and get married.
They ride off and,
Here's the deal. What happens if Ali and Loco and Chico, whatever the other one's name is, what if their plan actually works and they burn the barn down and Jason has to come running out of there?
Oh, God. They burn it down during the day.
You got Shelly and the whole crew out there. You got the dope heads and Big Rick, and they're out there asking these bikers, what are y'all doing? And then all of a sudden, here comes Jason stumbling out of there on fire. And they're just like, look at this.
That's when the chase scene starts.
He comes out of there like that video I sent you, running really fast at him.
I was going to wait till tonight to do this, but I got to do it now. It's 2:00 in the afternoon.
It burns all of his clothes off and he's chasing them naked. Now that's a movie. All right, Blake, here was a theory from Reddit. Everything that happens in part 4 is in Tommy's head while he's in a mental hospital, meaning none of the things, everything that we saw was in his head.
So in the first movie that we are introduced to Tommy, none of the stuff that's happening to Tommy is real? Is that what you're telling me?
He's thinking back about everything that happened. And in his mind, that's what he did to Jason. And, him and his sister killed Jason, when in reality, he killed Jason as Jason was killing his sister.
And his mother.
And his mother. They're all dead. And he just, his imagination of what happened to all those other kids as he was watching, through the window at night. It's just him making up a scenario of how they got killed. His only interaction with Jason was when Jason was in his house chasing his sister and he hit him in the head with a with a machete and was able to chop him up into pieces after Jason had killed his sister there on the floor.
I don't think I like that. Sounds like something Corey Feldman would come up with.
Oh, speaking of Corey Feldman, did you see? There's like I didn't watch the interview, but they've already started interviewing him about this new Goonies movie. You can't put him in that movie, Blake. They cannot put Corey Feldman in the Goonies movie. He's going to ruin that movie.
But Ronnie, that's what you do when you make a sequel or a remake or something like that. You got to try to get everybody who was a part of the original to show up or make an appearance or whatever. And yeah, I agree, it's gonna be stupid. Well, why make a Goonies 2? Who cares? Hey, you know what? I got a hot take for you, and I am stealing this, but I feel the same way. Goonies overrated.
I like Monster Squad.
Monster Squad's better. Goonies is overrated.
Josh Hargass says his kid now has a king size bed. I don't even have a king size bed, Blake, and he's working as an agent of the state. Probably the same thing that you cool your same thing you cool your drink with is probably what he's doing, making all that money right now.
Doge is gonna get him.
I was gonna say he's an ICE agent. Anyway, yeah, I mean, just like when people
pun.
Let's see.
One-Eyed Willie's ship has sailed on a Goonies sequel.
I can't imagine that movie being any good.
Well, you got to update it. So the Menendez brothers, what's the name of the bad guys in the Goonies?
Fratellis.
The Fratellis have to be pedophiles, right?
No,
they have to be online pedophiles.
I want the Fratellis to break. Is Robert Davi still alive? People in the chat, is Robert Davi still alive?
Yeah, he's still kicking.
I want the Fratellis to break out of jail again at the beginning of the movie because those guys are still, in shape enough to do it.
You can't make the movie now. You know why, Ronnie?
Why?
Mom, we're in a cave. Come get me. Movie's over.
That is true. Maybe they're too poor to have cell service.
You got Life 360. They're under the ground, Earl. Under the ground.
Nestor, they're under the ground. Blake, where does Tommy get those devil worshiping books that are in his truck from part 6?
Library.
Is there a library in that town? Did he go to a bookstore?
Ronnie, this is the 80s. Everybody has a library. And them libraries were kicking back in the day, too.
He saw Horace get killed. He knows Jason's out there. He never attempts to go to the camp until that night. He could have got on. He could have went to the camp that day and tried to get those people away from the camp. Nobody ever thinks about that. Tommy could have went to the camp.
He was. He got put in jail, Ron.
Wait a minute.
Come on now.
Hold on.
He got put in jail the night before because he freaked out when he dug Jason up, and then he went to go tell Sheriff Garris, and they locked him up. And when they lock him up, you bang.
No, hold on. He tried to go to the cemetery after being locked up that night.
Yeah, to show him, to prove to him.
And then they escorted his ass to the edge of town and said goodbye. He could have went to that camp and said, "Hey, Jason's coming." He don't get arrested again until the roadblock.
Gas ain't cheap, Ronnie.
Anyway, I just thought it was weird that
What'd Suicide say in Return of the Living Dead?
Ain't waiting here 2 an hour. You got gas, idiot? All right. Did young Tommy imagine all the nudity from the final chapter? Of course. That would made him a perverted child.
Yeah.
Tommy got arrested for stealing library books.
That's great. Can you imagine getting a book, Ronnie, and when you look at the card, on the inside, it says Tommy Jarvis rented this book in 1986?
It'd be great. Next one, Blake. We got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Does Tina's dad from part 7 have the biggest character arc of anyone in the franchise? From domestic abuser to zombie hero. At the very beginning of that movie, he's beating the heck out of his wife who looks like she's on the LPGA. Then to run out there onto the dock where his daughter drowns him. And then he comes back at the end of it. She brings him back to tie up Jason, take him to the bottom of the lake, which really don't make a lot of sense, Blake, that Jason's in the middle of the lake again because the dock is not, is not in the middle of the lake. It's like they're on the edge. Jason should have been like pulled down into the mud on the side of the lake.
Right.
Anyway, what's your thought on this?
I mean, it's a great question and it's a good argument, but I think you got to say Tommy Jarvis has the bigger character arc, Ronnie, right?
Explain.
Normal little boy, nerd, loves video games, loves creating masks, and then the trauma, losing his family, having to go to the nut house for a little while, and finally gets closure and peace there at the end. Until he shows up in Never Hike Alone.
Joshua Harguy says a great novel to read is Friday 13th Part 6. Read it. It dives a little into Jason as an infant up until he dies as a child. Also, Church of the Divine Psychopath is one of the best novels. Like, I don't even know what none of that means. Nick Push says LPGA chose a doctor for her daughter that was similar to her dead abusive husband. She's right. He's right. One of the best deaths in the franchise is when they kill Tina's mom. Tina's mom's terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. And she deserved all of it.
I would.
I know. Here we go, Blake. That was my question, by the way. I thought it was a good arc. Why wasn't there any guardrails on the cruise ship in Part 8?
This is the early stages of the cruise, Ronnie. I mean, you gotta
Bad News Cruise?
Right. You got to make a few mistakes and then you learn, and then OSHA gets involved. So that's why we have the great Carnival cruises now that won't flush when you shit.
I mean, those cokeheads, they shove Rennie right off the side like it ain't nothing. I mean, she's gone, dead, cruise over, Blake.
Yeah.
I think I missed one.
Let's see. Jim Bob says the real question is, what the hell is in the water at Crystal Lake?
What's he mean by that?
I think he's talking about brim, catfish.
Oh, who knows? Jason. That's what's in the water. That's it.
Sorry.
I had one that I didn't add, Blake, but it was about Part 5, and that's the reason we skipped over Part 5. Can I go back to that one? Can the chat forgive me for just a second? My question about Part 5 was this, Blake. Why wasn't Matt's little halfway house immediately shut down the minute there was a violent murder there?
80s.
One guy just hammers another one with an axe. Even if they're not going to shut the camp down, Blake, they would clear all those people out of there for a few weeks.
And send them where? Listen, it was a open and closed case, Ronnie. This kid went nuts, killed this kid. This kid's dead. This kid's the one who did it. Sent him to jail. I mean, hey, let's don't mess up everybody else's good time. Now, if it was the killer was still on the loose, I agree with you. But come on now.
Church of the Divine Psychopath is Waco featuring, it must be Wacko. I don't know. Blake, help me out. Jason, SWAT team going against Jason and a SWAT team going against armed religious cult with Jason in the middle. Okay, Blake, buy that for me for Christmas.
Okay. It's on the list.
Next one. How did Jason know that the satellite dish was for communications, Blake? He's never seen a satellite dish out there at Crystal Lake. How do you know to tear that up in Part 8? Now, me trying to answer my own question, because I like to book the territory, and you start at the end and you go backwards.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Jason followed some of the wires from when he cut the guy's neck all the way out there to the satellite dish and was like, hey, this why.
I think that when you start asking questions like this, and then you dive into what exactly does Jason know, because then you get into, he died when he was 11 or 12 or however old he was, and they didn't have phones at Crystal Lake, and Jason and Pam probably didn't have a phone, probably didn't have a TV, never had a woman, all that good stuff. So how does he know? You're right. How does he know about the technical equipment of all that? I think that's where we get, we just need to chill out on asking questions about the franchise. Nick, the internet doesn't reach the podcast studio very well. Ronnie has told me that I sound skippy out there. I'm in and out. So I've just been setting up on the east wing of the mansion.
Nick, you missed this earlier. We were talking about Vincent DeSanti, great director, great lover of Friday the 13th. He spelled fundraising wrong, Nick. He's got a panel of 8 rubes there he's stealing money from. What do you think his first piece of advice was, Blake, to people?
Hopefully, stop, drop, and roll.
Uh,
Don't do drugs. Everybody Wei Chung tonight.
You wouldn't believe how many Jason Voorhees types are out there on social media willing to dig into their hard-earned money to give it to you to steal. So
I hope he said, rule number one, I'm number one. I'd have gave him all my money if he did that.
Next question, Blake. We're almost out of here.
You think Dasani would let us spend the night if we came to town?
Okay, great question. If he ever gets to a con that is a real con for a real man, in the area that we can drive and we meet him.
You mean Comic-Con, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you meant like he's conning people.
No, well, a con is perfect place for him.
Dasani Con?
Dasani Con. If we meet him, and I would love to meet Vinny. He's always been a really nice guy to us.
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's going to Big D us immediately. We're going to go up and say, hey.
Big D. Okay.
Yeah, you got what I'm saying now?
Big D word.
Yeah. He's going to do that to us. He's going to talk to us.
And for the casual out there, Ronnie, Big D and somebody, when we say that in the South, what does that mean?
That means he's going to try to act like he's better than us.
Right.
Like he don't have time to talk to us. Like we're the only ones in line. And he's going to say, I got people behind you. And there's not going to be anybody behind us.
Now tell everybody how us in the South handle a situation like that.
We're going to whip his ass.
I'm going to whip his legs. Ronnie, you take the upper half.
Yes. And I'm going to lean on him. I don't care what kind of Muay Thai he says he's working on. Blake is going to cinch his legs.
Yeah, Boston Crab.
I'm going to lean on the top like Brock Lesnar did. He ain't going to be able to hold this 285 pounds up. Ain't going to be able to do it. And then we're going to take him to the ground because there's not going to be, if he's at a con, it ain't going to have no security. Yeah. All right. And once we get him to the ground, that's when the real ass beating starts.
Yeah, because I fight like a girl. I claw. I'm ripping that hair out. He's like John Cena when I get done with him. I'm going to scratch his eyes out. I'm going to bite. I'm a biter. I'm going to bite the shit out of him. And, I'm sure you're going to be working him over with some elbows and some ground and pound. I'm going to take his shoes. Like, when he gets up from this ass whooping, he's going to be missing shoes. They ain't going to have a sock. His pants are going to be ripped.
What's going to be going through his mind is what a life.
Yeah.
I'm out here trying to give these people not financial advice, but
shouldn't have big dicked us, man.
I just got my ass whipped by two guys from Mississippi.
Yep.
And they tore my clothes off of me.
Yeah. We'll take his belt off, put it around his neck.
We're going to leave his shoes, though.
Leave his shoes?
Yeah, he can wear whatever shoes out. He's probably got holes in his socks.
Well, everybody's got holes in their socks.
No, what we're going to do, Blake, is this. I know you've seen these videos on social media when people go behind guys and they're wearing jeans. Because what was he wearing in that video? Was he wearing jeans? Can we even tell? Is Vinny a jeans guy, you think? I can't tell.
I think so.
I'm going to put my hands in his back pockets and I'm going to rip.
For those of you out there, this all started because Ronnie and I created a scenario in our head where Dasani wouldn't let us adults spend the night with him. So now we have to kick his ass.
Okay, so
this is the best.
Hold on, I'm going to pull it up for you guys. Don't run away.
Can the nanobite ants cure anything?
Where's it at?
Oh, from Jason in Space? That's a good question. I think so. I mean, they grew a guy's arm back, right?
This is a shirt rip. Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about it and say, oh, here it is, Blake. Hold on. Let me pull this up. All right, let me back it up. All right, let me share this, all this other stuff. I just got to let everybody see it if they don't know what I'm talking about. I know everybody probably knows what I'm talking about, but
I don't. I have no idea where we're going.
I'm going to sneak around. And I'm going to do this to him.
Oh man, you gotta do it early in the morning too, so it ruins the shine.
Myself.
You guys send this to Vinny. He needs to know what's coming.
I'm gonna make him hit me. Probably the most obnoxious.
I'm jealous. Darren got to meet this guy.
Yeah,
Should have been us.
it should have been. I
Should have been
bet
us.
Darren didn't ask him one good question or try to grab his pockets.
Asking for $1, anything. That's when I'm asking Darren for money first time I meet him. Can I have some money? I'm thirsty.
I'm like Seinfeld. I need a couple of what's he call it? Pounds. Whatever it was.
Yeah.
I don't know what he says.
Wait,
all
Darren,
right.
Darren says pounds.
Does it, Josh?
Shillings. I think it's shillings.
Quid. That's what he says.
Quid.
Quid.
Quid it.
I need about 20 quid. I need to go get something to drink. Josh the horror guy says, I love witnessing.
I need about 17 quid. There's a hooker out here.
Yeah, we know he's in the High School Football Hall of Fame. He sent us a picture of the plaque.
Can we debunk that right now, Ronnie? Can we tell Allie why he's in the Hall of Fame?
It's an all-white academy.
It's an all-white school, Allie. Everybody's in the Hall of Fame. We were all really, really good.
Nick Push is trying to get us back on track right here. Can the nanobite ants cure AIDS?
I don't think so. What? Why did that pop you? I just don't think they're that good.
He put somebody's arm back on.
Yeah. It, grows away
Jason,
it can't touch AIDS though, Ronnie. So if that were the case, we need to like have a hot air balloon full of these things and just pop it right over Africa.
Yeah, well, look, I've made the comment a bunch of times. I think everybody in Jason in Space, I think we found immortality because they blow Jason's head off and they bring him back. They cut people's arms off, they bring him back, and you'll bring back people that's been dead for 800 years.
Yeah.
So that
you get AIDS, you're gone.
Look, in space, nobody can get AIDS.
Is that true? Gravity? Something to do with gravity?
Something to do with gravity.
Carbon?
What's this mean?
I don't think he likes. Well, he didn't like the quid bit.
Oh, okay. All right, look at this guy. That's why he's the best. $4.99 quid, Blake. Good to see you.
I'm googling how much that is, Ronnie.
All right, we got a guy here that makes $1 million plus a year. He supports our channel on every platform, and he gives us 5 quid. Hurry up, Blake.
How much is $4.99 quid in American dollars? As of today, he just sent us $6.46, Ronnie.
Look at this guy. Thank you, Darren.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. I'll split it with you, Blake.
He should have sent us Bitcoin. I think that's like universal.
Send us some Bitcoin, Darren.
Send us six Bitcoins.
Imagine having space AIDS and must suck worse than regular AIDS. It's about time we get a space zombie movie. That hadn't happened yet. Copyright that, Blake, so nobody steals it.
I'm writing it down right now, buddy.
Next. We're almost done.
Okay.
Talking about Freddy versus Jason, and we never do it, was Dr. Campbell based on Fauci. What I mean by that, for those of you that don't know,
Eating the heart?
no, this is Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, Freddy versus Jason.
We find out that nobody on Elm Street or in that whole town has dreamed anything because everybody, they're secretly giving all the kids medicine that doesn't allow them to dream, sort of like Fauci. So was Campbell based on Fauci, Blake? True or false?
True.
Chat, true or false? Dr. Campbell is based off Fauci. Let's check him out, Blake.
In addition to DeSantis, I just want to throw this out there. If I ever see Fauci, he's effing dead. I'm just kidding, by the way. I realize now I just said a threat out
What
loud.
are you talking about? Darren says if it wasn't for your tariffs, you would have topped $8. There you go,
Man.
Blake.
Damn it. Why'd we do it, Ronnie?
Fortunately for us, we're in Mississippi. We don't even know what tariffs are.
Mm-mm.
Half squatched, Blake.
I like that name. Half
You read-
squashed.
You read it because my voice is going.
If you do enough searching in the King James Version of the Bible, you'll find every word from every script in the Friday the 13th series. Maybe. I don't effing know. Good morning.
And that's the freaking comment of the night, Blake,
Yeah.
right there. So there you go.
Send him a membership, Ronnie, or her, I should say. I shouldn't assume.
Is it you've misgendered?
How do you say that last word? I've always wondered. I see that word thrown around a lot on X. Is it cuck or kook?
Cuck?
Cuck. Okay.
I can't be talking like that. Let's give some memberships away before we get to the next one. Memberships coming.
Wow. Cool. I love when you do that. It's
Josh
man.
Hart.
God damn it.
Josh Tarek, I got one.
He deserves
Jim
it.
Bob. Sam Haynes Knight. Oh my God. Juicebox Willie's back. That's what I'm talking about.
I love Juice Box, man.
And Wayne Turner. There we go. We'll give
Wayne
some
Turner, I
more.
think he's from Australia, Ronnie.
Yeah, top of the morning to you. All right, scrolling down this,
Nothing to you.
scrolling down this chat. Nick
Bush
Bush
got
says
that.
that Campbell didn't kill half as many people. What else? What else? It's ma'am. All right. So obviously that was a joke question. Next question.
Yeah.
Last question. If you guys have any Friday the 13th questions, I'm talking to you, chat. I'm talking to you. Hold on a second, Blake. I'm talking to you. If you got questions, get them in the chat right now. Because we ain't waiting around. We're going to bed. And we want to answer some damn questions. Okay?
We need to get to bed.
Y'all are on alert. And give us some money while you Blake. Friday the 13th, the remake. Blake.
Yeah.
Did they get every race in the movie?
Yeah.
Was the Friday the 13th remake the first woke Friday the 13th? Now, let's go. This is a great question. Let's go to the Friday the 13th part 1. We'll start at the beginning. I don't remember seeing anybody but whites.
Okay.
So, Friday the 13th part 2 did have some people of color.
Yeah.
Did have handicapped people. You know, there you go. Had fat cop. So the fat people were included.
Right.
Muffin. So going into part 3, this is probably the most diverse cast. Because I'm pretty sure one of those dope heads was Spaniard.
Maybe.
And Shelley was Jewish. So we get away from, just one religion. You got the bikers, and you got a little bit of blackface out of Loco because he was trying to make himself look dirty, so he looked black. Abel, I don't know if any race is going to claim him, Blake. Rick, definitely. He would have. We should have had Rick in. I was going to say white boy tournament. Scott Baio look-alike. So still a lot of white people.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Okay, so let's don't go through every movie. I've seen them, Ronnie.
Hold on.
I'm just going to answer your question. Yes,
Part
it's
4.
the most woke.
Part 4.
Yeah, okay.
All whites.
Yep.
Rick possibly could be non-white, but we saw his sister, so we know he's white.
That's true.
Part 5. All whites. No, we got Reggie Reckless.
Reggie the Reckless, Grandpa, Spike. I mean,
One family. It's one family.
no, well, there's a girlfriend,
And I'm not
Whatever
sure.
Ethel is. Horse shit. I love when you mute yourself.
I've got a cough. My voice is going. Nobody wants to hear a phlegmy cough. Part 6. You got the chick from Days of Our Lives. right?
Um,
And you got an Italian, Rick Cologne.
yeah.
Do you think Vinny has any regrets about? Do you think Vinny has any regrets about the way he let? Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen,
No, don't spoil it.
Never Hike Alone 2.
How certain characters end up? Is that how
Yeah.
you went in that?
Do you think he has any regrets about that death scene, or if he thinks that was like the best he could do?
Well, no. I mean, I think he had a vision and he had a story, and that's how he wanted it to end for those characters in his vision. So I don't think he regrets it. No. I mean, it ain't like he was pressured to do it a certain way. I mean, this was, him all the way, right? Come on. Come on.
Well, I'm just saying, it just seems comical to go out that way.
Chat, what do y'all want our next review to be? Ronnie and I have talked about Assault on Precinct 13.
Are you guys interested in hearing us talk about Assault on Precinct 13? The original.
The original.
Yeah. Josh Harguy says a membership is very honored. Thank you, buddy. You have been a friend of us since the beginning.
He's been a friend of us like that guy in Shawshank.
Yeah, I could be a friend of you.
I could be a friend of you.
I almost read this one.
Yes.
April was Chinese. In real life, anyway. I tried to get him to do it, Jim Bob. He won't do it.
Nah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, unless we're talking about Undertaker, I'm not interested in Tombstone.
So that'll do it. Does anybody have any Friday 13th topics? I'm trying to dig in. What do y'all want us to talk? What do you want us to talk about in some upcoming videos? Hit us in the chat real quick. Hit us in the comments when this is over. Look, Jim Bob, we're going to do Tombstone whether Blake likes it or not. That's what she said. Says yes.
I had a stroke while typing, but yeah.
Assault on Precinct 13. Probably drunk. Probably having a good time tonight.
I love hot sauce on Precinct.
I also thought that we haven't done the gimmick of, you wasn't here, Blake, the last time we did a Friday the 13th gimmick of watching the fan films. It was me and Tim. Watched 3 fan films, and Tim acted like he knew what was going on. Now that Tim is officially broken in as a Friday the 13th fan, or whatever you want to call him, we could have him back on once his busy time of the year is over with. He's a stockbroker right now. So
yeah, it's been a tough couple of days, huh? Or it's either been really good. I guess it depends on.
He's really good like that one day yesterday.
Yeah.
A couple other days I got him. All right, Blake.
I'm still holding on to my Big Lot stock.
And this is just for me. You get a phone call or a text from somebody, and I'm not going to say who it was, and they say, you know what? Put all your money in Big Lots. All right? And then you do. Well, I didn't. I put like $8, and I lost $8. Meanwhile, other people lost everything. Blake, how much did you lose?
I'll never forget it. I lost a little over $100. This is also I don't know why, but I trust him on just about everything he says. I guess I need to evaluate my life.
He comes, he comes off as like super smart when you talk to him, like in real life.
I wonder what he made on the ACT.
He
told me one time. He said,
"He got his grade 10."
You're looking to buy a car. You need to go through Carvana because they're about to go under, and they finna have to get rid of a lot of inventory. So I looked that shit up, and they're so expensive, dude. Like nothing has dropped. I don't know.
They're literally shutting down every store. Don't call it a comeback. All right, Blake. That'll do it.
Invest in Circuit City.
What is the if you could have one meal, and this is for the chat too before we go. If you could have one thing for supper tonight, price is no concern, what would it have been?
Homemade biscuits, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and gravy.
ribeye steak, baked potato, green beans. Anyway, guys, we don't know what we got coming up. There's nothing on the table for us. Hey,
Chili dog.
chili dog. Look, dude, you can never go wrong with a chili dog. Jim
Good.
Bob's getting all famous right here, all expensive. Steak and lobster. I'm not a big fan of lobster, Blake. What about you?
It's pretty good.
I didn't like it the one time I had it at Red Lobster.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth the money or effort, but it is really good.
I'm also not a crawfish guy either. Like
See, I love some crawfish, man.
I can eat them, but I'm not one of those people that like freaks out when it's time every year. Oh, crawfish, let's go. I was at a place in Louisiana, like a stadium one time, and they like come out there and they just dumped a giant cooler down for like each table. It was amazing.
Mhm.
I ate till I couldn't think anymore. Guys, thank y'all for joining us on a Friday night. We will be back. I don't know what we got on tap for this week. Blake wants to do a Assault on Precinct 13. Nobody said no in the chat, so maybe we'll throw up a review of that. We'll be back next Friday, possibly for another Friday the 13th. When are we going to watch Vinny's movies?
We already have.
I'm talking about like a riff or something like that. You reckon he'd get mad if we riffed his movies?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we have fun with Vinny a lot, but I think us watching it and doing commentary is
What if we promise? What if we get him on with us?
nah.
No,
He wouldn't shut up the whole time.
he does talk a lot. I like him, but he does talk a lot. Darren, thanks for the super chat, bud. I really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody tonight. Sorry about the voice. Me and Blake may pop on. Blake, I didn't tell you about this, but hold on. Let me find it real quick. We have been asked to do something, a video, a specific video.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't feel bad. I don't feel bad. I feel great. Before y'all leave, let me tell you this, and y'all can steal it if you have a YouTube channel. I don't give a this. All right, so
Oh, so this isn't another channel asking us to do something. This is
no,
someone
it's
reached-
Byron Weaver. You've seen
Oh,
him in the chat.
yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, he said he would like for us to do a video on how we would handle the Halloween limited series. Meaning, if Malek Akkad, I thought he was dead, asked you guys to come up with a premise for a TV series, what would you guys come up with? Like if they put us in charge of this Halloween series, he would like a video where we talk about what it would be. And I told him we'd do it. Now, literally, let me look at this thing he sent me on Instagram. He obviously doesn't know. This was like March 13th. So it's like a month ago. I told him we'd do it.
Off the top of my head, without putting any thought into it, it would be
No, we'll make a video. I mean, I'm just saying, is that something you'd be interested in doing a live stream about that or a video about that? Or you just, I'm really worried. I don't want to go back into Halloween.
Yeah. I would hate to do that.
We would experienced. Yeah. I think we may do it though. We may do it for that. And we may do it for the Friday the 13th series, how we would handle a Pamela, situation. Or maybe we won't. We say we're going to do a lot of stuff and we never do it. We're supposed to do that Back to the Future timeline video like 2 years ago.
Oh, I forgot about that. Wasn't we going to do some shit with Star Wars too? Like 2 Mays ago?
Yeah, we're going to review all the Star Wars movies.
Dude, it's going to be May here in a little bit. You want to do some Star Wars stuff?
Dude, I'd love to do Star Wars movies. I don't know anything about them, and I'd love to do it.
Well, it takes place a long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Hey, does the chat want to see us, how we kind of spoof that Halloween video? Do y'all want to see us spoof a Mr. Beast video? We kind of toyed with that idea.
Yeah, did you guys like the spoofs of the little thing or no? Is that no good? Jet
you like us filming stuff outside?
Jet, if I have to do it by myself, and I won't, Hooper is coming for you. All right? For you. You've been like a supporter for 8 years.
What is Hooper?
Hooper is a Burt Reynolds movie.
Oh, I'm in. I'll do it.
Yes.
Anything for Burt.
Yeah. We're gonna do Bert. We'll do that. Look, I don't even know when we're gonna be back on here now.
Hey,
We're also toying around with changing the name of the channel there for about 2 days.
dude, yeah, why don't you ask them that? And I hope they, side with me on that. Explain yourself.
I just think it's too many letters.
Why? Because Mike and Dave said so, or whoever that guy's name is?
Dave McCrae told us to change our name.
No, it wasn't. It was those two dickheads.
Yeah, that's real.
What's their name? Who are they? I
Might
forget.
as well, no, might as well ride it out the way it is right now.
Change the name of the show. I don't care.
What will we change it to? I was thinking something like Ronnie and Blake's Diner.
What about Ronnie's Playhouse?
That got canceled a long time ago.
I may have something in the works with that soon.
That got canceled a long time ago. It was too tough for TV.
What do you guys think about a Birdathon where Ronnie and I review our favorite Burt Reynolds movies?
Have we ever done Smokey and the Bandit?
I know we did on the audio, in the audio days, sitting at the dining room table together.
We've never done a video. We got to do that. You know, it's we went on Bert and Patrick's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We didn't do Porky's. So does that give us free reign to do Porky's again?
I think that would be a slap in the face to them. So let's do it.
Burton
Leon Reynolds Jr. I know what that's from. Do you, Ronnie?
No.
McConaughey said it in a movie.
I knew he said it, but
Ed TV.
Okay. I just didn't remember that. Yeah, we're not. It's going to take too much effort.
All the good names are taken.
Ronnie and Blake's Discount Diner. No.
Ronnie and Blake's Shake Shack.
I like that. McDonald's. Could we have a YouTube name McDonald's? Or would they get us?
Ronnie and Blake's McDonald's hamburger.
All right. We'll be back. Blake, love you. Thank you for jumping on.
Love you. Love all you guys out there. This was fun, Ronnie. We're not doing nothing tomorrow, right?
Why? What do you got?
Shit to do. I got to cut grass, and honestly, I don't want to do anything. A new WrestleMania 9 documentary just dropped, and I really want to watch it.
We don't have to do anything ever again.
God.
Love y'all.